delay, a bit of technical issues, but all sorted. So let me just see if we're all live in our beautiful Facebook group. Hi, everyone. Today is going to be a very, very interesting lecture. Today we're going to talk about how do you book people for sales calls, because guess what? They're not going to show up. They're going to book sales calls just because you have a link on Calendly or whatever software you're using, right? So we're just going to wait a minute or two to see if anyone shows up live, and we're going to go directly into this very interesting topic we have today. Here is I have a small presentation. Usually you guys know, if you watch the other ones, I don't really like doing a lot of presentations, but today we need to go through a lot. So I'm super excited to share everything I learned in over a decade doing sales calls and appointment setting, and there's so much I can share today with you. That's an incredible journey in the last 10 years, and closing deals, booking people for sales calls is really, really important. And I don't care which niche or which industry you are in, being capable of talking to people over the phone is I would say the most premium skill you can learn in life. And I usually say to people, hey, if you can talk on the phone, you're never going to be hungry. But today we also going to cover not just how to do appointment setting on the phone. We're going to do the same how to do appointment setting into your DMs. Is that Instagram, Facebook groups, whatever. The skill is the same, the structure is the same, the style is the same. So no matter what your strategy is, are you calling people over the phone, or are you DMing, are you running ads to a certain freelance service or coaching service where then you need to call them or you need to DM them or whatever, this is going to help you. To be straightforward with you, I charge companies $5,000 to give trainings like this, obviously with like certain couple of weeks of support for their team until they master the craft. But I think we can dive into right away. So what is appointment setting? So for somebody who's probably new into the online world and into coaching and into getting leads and into doing sales and stuff, the customer journey of every lead or every prospect you might have has several stages. One of the most important stages, the moment once I'm a lead until the moment you close the deal or they show up for a sales call. And this is where most businesses fail. This is where most coaches fail. This is where most freelancers fail. And that's because they don't have a system, or they don't know how to talk on the phone, and they don't know how to book appointments. And booking appointments, especially if you're selling high ticket offers, is the number one skill you really, really have to craft. So appointment setting is the moment when you receive a lead, let's say from ad, which is what I teach people: run ads, talk to the leads, close them on a deal. Once you get a lead, what do you do with that lead in order to nurture it in a way that the lead actually wants to have more conversation with you and want to book a sales call? Because without the sales call, you cannot demonstrate the expertise you have. Obviously, there are different ways and different channels. That's why I do these live sessions. That's why I have a Facebook group, because I try to demonstrate expertise to my leads, the people in the group. And just the fact that I'm going to do this, it doesn't mean that most of these people are just going to be mind blown and just contact me and want to work with me, right? So this is where appointment setting comes into place. So you can do appointment setting organically. You can do appointment setting with ads, just like I do, and I love to do after trying every single possible way. Appointment setting for me is been a game changer. And the appointment setting is basically the moment when you get a lead and you try to book them on a call. But how do you do it right? And this is very very interesting topic. There's many ways to do appointment setting, but the first thing I want to say, sales and appointment setting, it's an art. Appointment setting or sales calls or any kind of sales is playing chess with your prospect. You're playing a verbal conversational chess. So you need to learn how to play chess. There's no such thing as a talent. There's some people can do it and some people cannot do it, but it is a chess game. So you need to know strategy. Why is it important to learn how to do appointment setting? Is because when you know how to do appointment settings, you're not going to just waste your time on making content that nobody is about to see and hope that people will take action. So the first is you don't bet on the platforms that you're going to get lucky and go viral. So you remove luck out of the equation and you remove hope out of the equation. And what you do instead is what every smart business owner does. You go and you chase the money, because the money are not going to come to you if you don't chase them. Now, before I go into the presentation, there is two rules that I coach my clients, what is agency clients, company clients, coaches and freelancers that I train, is the two main rules in sales and also in appointment settings. Rule number one is shut the fuck up. Sorry about my language. So you need to let your prospects talk. Most of the times people think that appointment setting or sales is about explaining to people and convincing people, but actually it's exactly the opposite. It's letting people talk and ask questions. And the second rule is to listen. Just shut the fuck up and listen to prospect. They're gonna tell you all pains, all their struggles without you even asking if you start listening to them. Okay, so what I teach everybody I coach is to print two posters and put them behind their camera when they talk to prospects on a sales call on appointment setting. Is one is says shut up and the one is listen. So because most of us, especially when we're new into this game, we believe that explaining more and thinking more, it's the way to go, but basically is who talks is losing the chess game. So you need to shut up and let people talk. And the other thing is, before I go into the script, you need to remember one thing: is you shut up, you listen to the people, but at the same time you have to be yourself. No matter if I present you now the greatest script ever invented by humankind, you still need to be yourself. You still need to be genuine. You still need to be relaxed. Your job is to relax people on the call, so relax people in the conversations, and you need to be sharp. You have to be sharp and straight to point. Don't waste people's time. It's like, oh, I really do appreciate blah 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 blah, and like typing paragraphs of text or talking 10 minutes before you get straight to the point. So be sharp and go straight to the point, because real experts and high performing people don't have time. So if you're one of them and you want to present yourself as a high performer, you want to be sharp. Don't waste people's time just the way you don't want people to waste your time. Ask short questions, always ask open questions, questions where they have to elaborate. Don't ask questions that are yes or no answers. Okay? So be sharp, be yourself, shut up, and listen. These are some of the rules that if you follow, you'll be successful. So now I'm super excited and we can dive directly into the script I prepared for you. Appointment setting script that fully booked my calendar with sales calls. I've been using, guys, this script for 7, 8, 9 years maybe right now. I use it for my fitness businesses. I use it for my online fitness business. I use it for my boot camps. I use it for every single coach I train. I use it for every freelancer I train. I use it for a lot of companies that I train their sales teams. And guess what? When they want, it always works. Now, what I said, be sharp, be yourself, shut up and listen. That doesn't mean that you need to have follow this script word for word and sound like a robot, right? You need to find your own style. This script it is amazing because, especially if you're new, it will give you some guidance of how things actually is supposed to be working. So let's dive into it. So today I made it in a way where I have a phone script and a DM script, right? So basically, no matter are you calling people on the phone, are you sending DMs on Instagram, LinkedIn, or wherever you're going, the game is the same. The only difference is the opener, how the conversation starts. So that depends of your niche. That depends of what is your strategy. Are you running ads and then you need to call people? Or are you running ads and you're sending them to a Facebook group? Or are you running ads and you're sending them to the Instagram? Or are you actually cold chasing leads? Or are you texting your followers? So the way you do appointment setting is the same. It's just the only difference is the openers. So how do you open? You call on the phone, and then on the phone, or how do you open a conversation when you're into the DMs? But it and also all depends on what your strategy is and how do you actually chase people. So first, I'm gonna start. The first step is openers, right? So when you start any kind of conversations, is it over phone or is it on the DMs? You always start by building a little bit of rapport, and building rapport always starts with an opener. And what is an opener? An opener is when you actually tell people who you are, and or you try to kind of send them a nice, relatable message so they can actually respond to you. So the first rule is don't be a freaking bot, and I'm not diving into if you're in on the phone. So this is exactly the two openers that my salespeople are using, because I run ads into inviting you to join this Facebook group, and I'm giving you a free training. But as you can know, I just don't wait for you to take action. We're trying to call you. Every single one of you have received multiple SMS, emails, and sales call and appointment setting calls, because we want to help you more, right? So when we call people on the phone, the most important struggle we have is people are always very protective, no matter, and when they're on the phone, they cannot hide behind a DM or a logo. And people will always say they don't know who is calling them. They will always say they don't remember that they signed up for something. They will always be like, "Oh, what are you talking about? I didn't sign up for anything." And that's how it is. And that's normal. That's a normal human behavior. That's what you will do if you receive a call from a stranger, right? So when you do an opener and you want to do appointment setting, you always want to start with what's your name, where are you calling from. You tell them why you're calling them, and you ask them, how are you today? So one option that you can do is like, hey, it's Ivan from, you always start with the name, obviously. Hey, John, it's Ivan from Learn Ads in 60 Minutes. That's my ad, my program. The free training you sign up for, how are you today? What happens next is they always say, what? I don't know what you're talking about. What? I don't remember. And here is where the struggle happens. You can say, hey, you sign up for a free training, run ads, remember? Okay. Oh, yeah, I get it. The other way you can do it is the same. You can say, hey, John, it's Ivan from Learn Ads in 60 Minutes. The free training you signed up for, do you remember? So you need to be sharp, fast. You need to be clear. Like, don't tell them paragraphs. You're calling a random stranger, right? So you need to be fast, sharp, be yourself, and make sure that people understand who's calling them. That's very, very important. And this can vary depending on your niche, but the struggle here is to remind them what they sign up for. As I said, people will be protective. It's a completely normal human nature. And when they're on the phone, they cannot hide behind the phone. They can put the phone down if they want to. But if they stay on the phone, your job is to make sure they remember. And if you need to remind them 5 times what they sign up for, do it. Because after that, they go like, yeah, I get it, right? So that's the opener. Now I'm gonna go and how do you start a conversation? DMs on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, whatever. And this can be if people came from an ad, or you just cold DMing people. It's the same thing. It works, right? Now, how do you start conversations in the DMs? So now let's say for the benefit of the exercise, you're a fitness coach, right? And you're looking for clients, and your target market is men over 40, overweight, and you know you can help them. You've been doing this for years, and you're looking for them, and you don't just gonna go and start telling people, hey, I'm a coach and this and that. Like, you don't go and start selling them. You always have to start building rapport, ask genuine questions, find something on their accounts that you can relate to, give them a compliment, leave them some comments, leave them likes. Then you can go, hi, John, where are you from? Find something on their profile to compliment them on to start the convo. or cool kids, how many do you have? So you always look for something that's relatable, something that you can have a conversation about, that is relaxed, chill, and not salesy. That's how you approach people. So if they come through social media or they come from an ad into your social media, so you want to start any conversation as a normal freaking human being, okay, not a bot. Now, where you go, there's other option that you can do. You can go, like, for example, as different example, like, hey, John, it's nice connect with you here. I hope you're having a good day so far. How is life on social media? So you go, you see John on social media, you see he's really, really trying, right? And you can go and ask him, hey, how is life on social media, right? So you're starting very friendly, not salesy. You don't ask the hard questions. Now, if they're semi-warm lead, let's say they engage with your content or they're a follower, right? You can go and you can literally go and say, hey, I noticed you've been following me and we haven't yet connected. Or, hey, thank you for the liking my post. Or, hey, thank you for my post. Where are you based? Right? So this is a very friendly, very normal opener into the DMs to talk to a prospect, right? And even if you've never done this before, just follow these examples, copy paste them every single time, and you will be successful. And people will reply. But if you go and try to say, hey, I'm a video editor, do you want me to make you videos? You're probably going to get blocked immediately. Now, as soon as they reply to you, you're moving to question number 2, right? So now, again, depends on the niche, depends what your strategy is. This conversation can develop from directions. So let's say, as I said, if you're a fitness coach and you find people and you ask them, hey, you have a great, how many kids do you have, blah, blah, then you can go and say, hey, what do you do for work? Simple. Ask them what they do, expand that. You can expand that with a few more questions, but keep it short, stay focused on what your goal is. Or let's say you're a business coach and you want to chase fitness trainers, for example, and you can go and say, hey, after you already build a report, they reply to your first message, you can go and say, hey, I can see you're in the fitness world. How long have you been doing it? So now you slowly start asking about what they do. The goal of this question here is like to ask them to tell you more about what they do, how long they've been doing it, why they doing it, right? Normal questions. Hey, how long you been doing this? Or I notice you're another agency for coaches. How going? Or I notice you're a social media coach. How long you been doing it? Or I notice you're a social media coach. How is it going? So the question number 2 is usually to ask them, build a little bit more rapport, find out what they're doing, how they're doing it, where are they based, and etc. Straight after that, so this part of the conversation is building rapport. So they need to happen fast, quick. You need to shut up and listen what people are saying. They're going to tell you a lot of valuable stuff, and then you will, as soon as possible, and transition to business. So now, this is very important. When you respond to people, to any kind of question that you ask them, every answer they gave it to you, you need to acknowledge what they say and always finish with the question. Remember, the conversation is not finished until they paid you. So whatever you want to ask, you always ask whatever the conversation is going, you always want to finish with a question, because that keeps the conversation open. And you need the conversation to be open. So you can follow up with them, hey, like I ask you, why not talking to me, right? So as we said, now we're transitioning to the business. We were in the first part of the conversation, building report. How do you open a conversation? How do you build a bit more report, asking what they do, how they do it. And now we're moving directly to business. And now it's getting interesting. So once you establish the communication with them, then you ask them what they're doing for the living, or you ask them, hey, how is it going on social media? Or hey, you're in the fitness. How long you been doing that? Oh, I've been doing it for 10 years. I'm in London, in Wimbledon, in England. I have clients in the gym, blah, 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 right? So they actually tell you what they do and how they're doing it with a very little information, good enough to build report, relax them, so you can move to business, transition to business conversation. So now you can go right away to question number 3. Goes, so what are you working on right now? Or what's the plan for 2024? Right? So if you're a business coach, you want to help fitness trainers make more money, you say, what's the plan for 2024? Or what are you working right now? Right? This can vary depending on your niche. Don't be a robot, use your imagination. But the goal is to ask a question that will allow you to find out what their goals are. Because you already know a little bit about them, you know what they're doing. Now the point is to find out what their goals are. We're focusing on what are their goals. And here's a few examples. So if you're a marketing agency like me and you want to find out if people need help with marketing, then you will ask, glad to hear that it's going well. And we asked that in the previous question. Are you using Facebook ads or website traffic? Or how do you guys get leads? So I'm immediately transitioning them into the next question, right? She said, oh, I understand. I'm glad it's going well, because that was the question. If I go back in the previous slide, here it was like, hey, how is it going, right? And they say, oh, it's going great. And then I'm going, oh, fantastic, glad to hear it's going well. Are you using Facebook ads or website traffic? That's what I do, like what I do. Or how do you get leads? You see, I always finish with another question and I transition them into the next question, which is, how do you get leads? So now I'm going, so what are you working right now? And where I can go, if you're a business coach and you want to get people who want help growing their business from the ground up, then you will ask, hey, glad to hear it's going well. What are you currently working on right now? We interpret top, right? LOL. So you see, again, I'm transitioning them into the next question. So I acknowledge what they say and ask the next question. I don't talk philosophy. I don't try to be a smartass. I just transition very quickly as I can into the next question. Acknowledge what they say, transition to the next question. Note, you can note how in both examples you're using the script, but adding in personal conversations so you don't come across like a sales bot. Again, the goal is question number 3 is, what are you working right now? What is the plan? And to find out what their goals are. Sometimes people will tell you most of the things in just one question. But you never know how the conversation will evolve. So that's why you shouldn't be a robot, right? And now from here on, once they tell you their goals, what they're working on, they want to get more leads, blah, 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 etc., we move to the next stage. Now, what we do here is the goal is to get them to tell you the pain point. Make sure always to offer value when you respond so that you establish yourself as a knowledgeable in the space. So this is the part when you actually establish yourself a little bit as an expert, because now, like in the previous question, you ask them, what is the plan for 2024? And they're saying, well, I want to get more leads, I want to grow my business to 20-30K a month. And I can say, oh, fantastic. For sure, that's a great goal to have. May I ask you, what do you believe stopped you to achieve that until now? Or what do you think is the struggle, and why you haven't be there? Why you're not there yet? Or what has been your struggle in getting there and achieving this goal that you talked, right? And the other option is, hey, for sure, getting enough leads. Let's say the person says, oh, we're not getting enough leads, we have people to pay, etc. We try social media, and work, we're posting, we're making videos, we hire coaches, nothing working. Say, hey, yeah, sure, getting enough leads is the key to success. This is why an easy system that gets you endless leads is necessary. What have you tried before to get leads? Again, you can see that I'm transitioning them into the next question. All of this is done by a construct. All of this is done. This is a strategy. It's not random questions. As you can see, every question has a specific goal. So I asked them in the previous what goal is. Now I ask them what is their struggle, what is their pain point. I try to find out. And then the next question that I'm going with a transition into is only a question 5. You don't have, this conversation can be 5 minutes. It is what have you tried before? Right? So you ask them what their goal is, you ask them why they haven't achieved it yet, and now you ask them what they tried, what they have tried so far in order to achieve the goal they just talk about. So the goal here is to get them to tell you things they have done so that you can't tell them why it isn't working and then move on into offering them an advice. Uh, for example, is prospect says he has tried to use Facebook ads with no success. We can answer, got it. The issue with Facebook ad is if you don't know how to target properly, then you're just throwing money down a rat hole. Listen, I do this stuff all day, and I definitely have some suggestions that might help you if you want. I like asking before I start giving out an advice. So I actually ask them, by the way, I do this. You give them a little bit of advice. Say, hey, you're throwing money if you don't know how to target properly. You're not telling them how to do it, just telling them, hey, this is why most likely you're failing. And hey, I do this all day. I can give you your advice, but let me just ask you first if you want the advice. If you don't want it, that's all right. So I'm transitioning them into the next step of the conversation, right? So they told me what they're playing with. They told me what they tried. They say, oh, we tried Facebook ads and it didn't work, right? Again, I'm using my own example here. And I said, oh, fantastic. Listen, if you don't know how to do that, probably you're going to fail. All day, let me help you. And then you transition them to question number 6, or transition to the next stage. And the next stage is you try to transition to the call ASAP, right? So as we said in the previews, they said what they have tried. You said, hey, fantastic, Facebook, good, Facebook ads. You need to know how to target. And it's here is the same. Oh, I totally get it. So I do this stuff all day. I definitely have some suggestions for you if you want to help. I just want to ask before I start giving any advice. And if they say, yeah, sounds good, then you go, awesome. It would just take me like million pages to type out. Ha ha ha. But whenever we both have some free time, we can hop on a quick call. Sounds good? So here you can say to type, or hey, it's gonna take me like 3 hours. It's gonna take me an hour to explain you everything. How about when we both have some free time, we can hop up on another call, right? If you're on the phone. Sounds good? And they say, yeah, it sounds good. And from here, you immediately transition into booking them on a call. And then let's say you're on the phone, you can say, cool, here's my number. Da-da-da. Or if you're in the DMs, let's say if your strategy is to call people on the phone, you can say, hey, here's my number. What is yours? And if they need their number, you can send them an SMS, or you can call them immediately. If you can take the call immediately, do call them. The reason you want to call them, leads are like hot potatoes out of the oven. When you take them out, they're hot. Longer you leave them, they get cold. And you just got the phone, and they just get. And the other reason you want to call them immediately is they have time right now. Like that's why they're sitting and texting with you or talking to you on the phone for 10, 15 minutes. But let's say the other way to book them is like, hey, cool, here's my link. If you're DMing or texting, here's my link so we can both sync up. And you send them a link with your Calendly or your calendar and say, hey, after this is very important now. After you pick a time, message me back so I know what time you picked. And this is a strategy you use in the conversation on the phone or on DMs to kind of pass them the torch of responsibility in the conversation. So here's the link, and I want you to text me back when you book. Basically, tell them, hey, I'm expecting you to reply back to me. I don't, because if you just say, oh, here's the link, book when you want, see you on a call. They were never gonna book a call ever. So here, what you do is you go and you say, cool. After you pick a time, message me back. Now, as I said, you pass the torch of responsibility in the conversation to them, and you kind of stay in control of the conversation. You're expecting them to do a certain thing, and you made sure they know you're expecting them to take a certain action. And the reason we do that is because we transition into the last stage of the appointment setting, and there's the follow-up. Follow-up is key to success. So make sure you're tracking people to who you offer the call. And I don't care if you do it over the phone or for DM, which industry you are. Is it lead generation? Is it ads? Is it organic? If you don't follow up with people, they're not going to book, or even worse, they're not going to show up for your calls. So once you give them the booking call, if you give them the link to book, and you tell them, hey, can you just let me know right away what time do you choose? We both know you're gonna receive a confirmation with a booking, right? But you still want to um, use this strategy and ask them to tell you what time they book, because, as I said, you're passing the torch of responsibility, and you're telling them, if you're basically installing in their brain that if they don't take action, you're going to text them again, right? You're not closing the conversation by doing that. And you send them the link and they say fantastic, and if you don't see the booking come through in 20 minutes max, you go and you say, hey, any issues? Hey, right? Or hey, didn't see you schedule a time, is everything good? Right? And now they're gonna start ghosting you, or I don't know, they maybe had to put the kids to bed and they're gonna get back to you later and then book the call. But you show them that you're not giving up on this conversation until you get booking done. And this part of is where a lot of people fail. They think because they came to a point where they can get the link, the booking link, and the job is done. Most of these people need that additional push over the cliff, because people can they're hiding behind their accounts, right? If you're on the phone, it's a little bit different. So what I like to use, this is a pro tip. When I'm on the phone with a prospect and I try to do appointment setting, rather than sending them a link, because in order to send them the link, I need to get off the phone and then I will lose them forever. I have my Calendly and my everything open, and I book them. I said, hey, is your best name? Okay, is this your best email? So I basically fill up my own calendar link with their data. Is this best email? Is this the best phone? Okay, well, what is your time zone? All right, is 7 o'clock working for you well? Okay, it's 5 o'clock working well. Book them, and I say, hey, you should receive a confirmation about our booking. Can you go to your email right now and confirm that you will attend the event I just sent you? And they say yes, and you get notification in your email again that they saw it and that they confirm it. If you don't do that, they're not gonna show up, or they're gonna say, oh, I didn't receive anything. So you make sure they saw the invitation that you just created for them and they clicked yes to attend. And in the end, you say, hey, if anything happened, just please let me know like 24 hours before, because I have a lot of people to meet, so I can have an available space for somebody else, right? And tomorrow 6 p.m. fantastic, see you there, because you don't want to end up hanging on an empty call, right? And this is for a different lesson. This is how to increase show up rate on your sales calls, because once you complete this successfully, now you have the next struggle. The next struggle is, how do you make sure people actually show up, because they don't owe you anything and life is pretty much busy, so they don't have time to deal with your whatever you want them to do, right? So follow up is key, but that's a whole other lecture that we can spend time on and discuss about how to do this, how to make sure people actually show up for your calls. But I hope so that this script will help you, because it helps me, and it helps a lot of people I train, and it helps a lot of companies I work with as another agency and as coach, sales coach. So go and do it. Go experiment. Again, following a script is amazing. Follow the script, it works. But also, longer you do the things, you kind of find your own language, you kind of find your own style of talking or texting, and you completely shift this script into something that you enjoy doing it, and it's easy for you, rather than just copy paste a script. So again, be sharp, be yourself, shut up and listen to people. They will tell you. And as you can see in the script, the questions are very short, very quick. You acknowledge what they say, you say something smart, and you transition to the next question. So I truly hope that you guys really enjoy this lesson. This is a topic that quite a lot of people ask me, like, hey, do you know anything? How do you close people? How do you book people for sales? And remember, nobody's going to book a call because you have a calendar link, unless you get lucky on the internet. So you have to go and start chasing your leads or chasing people, especially if you're new. And it doesn't matter on ads and you get the leads, and it doesn't matter if you decide to do like cold DMs or you're texting all your new followers and all of that. So I highly recommend you watch this video. And if you want this script as PDF, send me a DM PDF, and or just contact me and I'll send it to you. And one more thing, if you want to have a coffee chat, have a coffee together and talk about how we can maybe give you more advice about how to scale coaching or freelancing business, it's all no obligation. We can meet. You want to find the link somewhere here. Book a call with myself, and let's see if we can actually work together. And worst case scenario, you get a lot of valuable information that you need to pay a lot of dollars to get it on the internet. So I wish you all the best, and see you in the next one in 2 weeks. Bye. Para pam pam pam.